You're watching The Appreciationist. My name is Peter Hartman.
My name is Beidi Wang.
Hi, I'm Valerie Soule.
And I'm Samantha Barley.
Yes. I want to say hello to our good friends in the room here, Luke and Melis. Thank you very much for joining us. Tonight we're talking about principles, a smarter way to think. And I hope we all want to know a smarter way to think, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we do that, I want to tell you about what I learned this week. The first segment to our show is called What I Learned This Week, and this is where I tell you what I learned this week. All right. Well, look, if you've been watching us, following us on Facebook, you saw me post a video today. You know, sometimes I have really cool things that I learned during the week. Sometimes they're pretty frivolous. Today is a pretty frivolous one. I learned how to throw a frisbee boomerang style. So how to boomerang a frisbee, how to play frisbee by myself, basically, is what I learned how to do. And it was really a lot of fun. Sam and I, we went out to the park and we were playing frisbee, and Sam says, "Hey, could you throw it in a way that it would come back to you?" And I was like, and I tried it, she tried it, we kind of failed miserably. And then as we were playing frisbee, it just sort of like happened, and I was able to throw it in such a way that it gave me an idea. And then I was able to throw it to myself. So I can throw frisbee and play catch with myself. And as a twin, you know, you're always thinking about the day where you're going to have to do things on your own. And at least frisbee, I got it all set. You know, I got it all set to be able to do it. You can check out the video. It's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/theappreciationist. Now, of course, you know, I go online and I'm looking for, hey, have anybody else done this? And of course they have, and way better than I did. I saw a guy throw a frisbee. It was in the air for 10 seconds before it came back to him, before it hit his hand again. And I was like, oh, okay, well, these guys are, you know, for anything that you can do physically, there's somebody else who can do something really incredible. But it was still a lot of fun. So check that out. You can throw a frisbee boomerang. All it takes is a slight angle and a willingness to get hurt. And it just made me think about a story that I mentioned at our last event exchange about when my mother showed me how to make bubbles, you know, like the bubbles you buy in stores for kids, how to make those bubbles myself just with soap water. And that made me realize that there is so much more that you can do with your environment if you just paid attention, if you're willing to experiment. And the frisbee just reminded me of that again. So that was a lot of fun. But the most important thing we do during the show is called a moment of appreciation. And that's where we look back at the past 7 days and we pick out something that we appreciate. Would anybody like to share a moment of appreciation? It's not mandatory, but you are obligated.
I'll start. I think I'm the only one who's not on mute.
Yeah, I know.
As well.
Everybody's laughing, but just silently, I'm sure.
I'll share two. Saturday, we had an event, and honestly, this is the time that I was on stage, and I really enjoyed myself. I really did. It was a lot of fun. We had more time than we usually did, and and I thought I would be nervous, and I was for about 2 minutes, but the rest of the time, I loved it. Really enjoyed the interaction with all of you guys, and it was sweet. It was really sweet, and I was on such a high after. I was just like flying home. It was just beautiful. So that's one, and that's a big one. And then yesterday I went to visit a friend. She lives like right next door, and her cat just loves me, and I love that cat. But he was on the balcony, and she had let the door open for me to walk in, and so he came running from the balcony, crossed all the living room, flying over the couch, and just to get to me so fast. It was beautiful. It was just beautiful. So that's it. It's simple but beautiful.
Oh, I really like that. Oh, that sounds so sweet. And yeah, you did a great job at the exchange on stage there, and it really was a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure Sam and Elvira probably feel the same way. What a great time we had there. That's really cool. Thank you so much for sharing that moment of appreciation. Would anybody like to share one? Anybody else?
Yes, I'll go. Well, last weekend I joined the exchange event. It was really nice. I haven't been able to go downtown and meet everybody in person for a very long time, and some people recognize me from the Appreciationist, and they said, well, they haven't seen me in person for like a year or something, and apparently a lot of things changed. I see many people they have involved over the past year, and I was really excited to meet them again. And then another thing I appreciate was remember last episode I talked about there was a job interview I had. I decreased my hourly rate by $5, and I suspect they still didn't want to take me. But turns out they picked me. So today was my first day.
Woohoo!
Yay, Beidi!
So in general, this company is in Wise Island, is really close to my home. So that's a big advantage. And then also, this company is really cool. They're doing aerospace interior and stuff. And inside the company is a huge company. They have a really fancy, nice cafeteria. And they also have this office supply vendor machine. So you have to do is you have to tap your card, your employee card badge, on top of a sensor, and then you pick the pen or the pad or whatever note, post-it note or whatever you want, and then the office supply will drop down like a vendor machine thing.
Ah, that is so cool! Oh my God!
It's really cool.
Lady. That's really awesome.
Yeah, but although most of the day my work was this Excel monkey, I was just working on Excel like a monkey. But the people there are super nice. There was a lady that it was first time I met her, and I only passed by her cubicle because I was going around, someone was showing me around. I passed by her desk. I didn't say hi, but after a few hours, I went to the kitchen because I was looking for a knife. I brought a piece of cheese. I want to cut it. So I was looking for a knife for a plate or something. But their small kitchen on the same floor that where our apartment is, they don't have anything. So I was asking her, do you know if we have any knife or plate or somewhere? And then she's like, oh, no, but actually I have one. Come to my cubicle and I'll give you one.
That's really nice.
She's super nice. Never met her. First time I ever talked to her. And she knew that I passed by during the orientation tour. Everybody was like super nice.
That's really cool. I really love that moment of appreciation. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think anybody who's been watching the show for a little while has been on the adventure with you, and I'm glad that it's culminated here. Really, really cool. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Beidi. Really, really nice. Anybody else have a nice moment of appreciation to share?
I'll go. First of all, congratulations, Beidi. That is awesome. I'm very happy for you. Make sure to still take care of your tomatoes, though. They still need your love. Okay, so mine. Okay, well, I'll do them quickly. So definitely exchange. I did not want to get off that stage. The panel discussion of the TLOA team was it was great. It was fun. Yeah, so there's that. Playing Frisbee, that's one as well. It was super fun. Watching Peter when he learned how to, well, you'll see the video. He sounds like a little kid. So that was really fun. And my last one is last night, my group life coaching. It was here in Verdun at Chat Noir. We decided to go on the back patio, and it was just a wonderful meetup. It was a smaller group. I think we were about 6 or so, and we really had deep conversation. It was about getting inspired, and we ended up talking about the meaning of life. We talked about death. We talked about just very deep conversations, and it was inspiring to all of us. I took a few pictures as well because that patio is beautiful. So yeah, we all were at the end just thanking each other so much for being there. It was really a deep moment, and it was really touching, and yeah, I think it had an impact on all of us, and so that was that was another one.
That's good, excellent, really nice, awesome. Anybody else? Oh, well, we have Luke, our friend Luke, who's promised us a picture. So on a few episodes ago, we talked about Bob Ross. And Bob Ross is this painter. He had the show. There's on Netflix. You can see a season of it. Beauty is Everywhere. He paints these cool things, and I guess people have tried it out. Luke says he has a picture for us. Would you like to show us, Luke?
You can unmute him, okay? Because he doesn't realize.
Am I able to unmute him? Okay, let's see if I can do that. No, I can't unmute him. So you have to click unmute, Luke, just so you can talk to us.
Click at the top of the screen. There's a little mic.
There we go.
Okay, there it is. So here it is.
Oh, wow!
And I did it all by myself.
Wow! Oh, congratulations!
That is cool. Talk again, Luke. When you talk, we get to see it big.
Okay, so I did it all by myself, and I have absolutely no talent in painting or drawing or anything like that. So just by following the course there, and the woman that taught us how to do it with the strange things there, and the scalpel and the big
Brush?
Brush.
big brush for painting walls there. We use that, and we do all those things, and I did this nice painting.
That's actually really cool. I'm super jealous right now. I like the feeling of being jealous, and it feels really cool. That's a nice painting. That's awesome. Do you have a moment of appreciation for us, Lou?
The only thing I can think right now is that every Wednesday afternoon I go see my mother at the CHSLD where she is there, because a few years ago she had a stroke, you know, and she recuperated about 90-95% of herself, you know, but she couldn't come back home because of certain little problem that she had and I had, because in that time I was in dialysis, and there was a danger for getting infected for me and things like that. So I had to put her there, you know, and but I'm still glad that she's still alive, and she's very alert and bright, you know, and she nearly remember most everything, you know. So it's I have to thank God for that, you know, and so I appreciate very much.
Very good. No, that's absolutely something wonderful to appreciate. Has she seen your picture? Your painting?
I think so. Yes. It's been a few years I did that, so yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing that moment of appreciation with us, Luke, and thank you so much for showing me that picture. I feel inspired right now.
Peter, have you ever heard of?
So next week you're gonna show your painting?
You know what? I think I'm going to try and do more guitar and see how brave I get with that. But painting is definitely something I'm going to have to do, definitely.
I'm actually going to be planning a meetup, Peter, and it's called Paint Night. You can look up paintnight.com, I think it is, and it's like all done in either restaurants or resto bars, or just bars themselves, like even downtown Embassy and stuff. And it's like you have a few drinks, you're with a group of friends, and they teach you how to paint, and you're all painting the same thing. And I don't know if that's what you did, Luke, but it looks really neat. So I'm going to plan one with Self Discovery Montreal.
Nice.
Is it the Bob Ross technique that they show?
I don't think so. No, probably not. I don't know.
Maybe is it body painting?
No.
I like it when there's like a model that you can.
Maybe after a few drinks, I can be your model.
You know what? I think that's a great idea. I think that's a good. It was really cool. Paint night. That sounds cool. Look, thank you so much for sharing that moment of appreciation with us, Luke. Millie, do you have one for us? Would you like to share one?
Yeah. Do you hear me?
I can hear you. Well, I think there might be a little delay. Okay, so let me put our friend here on mute.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's working now.
Good.
Yeah, I have a moment of appreciation. Actually, for the past few months, I've been looking for keeping some money. So I canceled my Opus card so I can go biking at work. And I've just subscribed to Bixi for the past week, and I've been going to my job biking every day, every morning, and every night. And it feels wonderful. I was quite anxious at first because of the traffic, and actually I'm really enjoying myself. I'm really taking advantage of it, and going out to a lot of events biking. It's so cool. So I love to be active and physically active. So yeah, this is amazing.
That's really cool. Yeah, a Bixi bike. Oh, you take the plunge, you get rid of your pass, you can up to the bike. That's something else. Mm-hmm. That's really, really cool. Nice. Look, Sam, do you want to just let people know what the Bixi bikes are, just in case they don't know?
Bixi bikes?
Yeah.
So yes, you can pay for monthly or daily passes with Bixi, and there's stations all over Montreal. You get a little key card in the mail, and you go to the Bixi station, you take your bike out, you go wherever you want, and then you leave your bike at that drop-off place. So say you're going to a friend's house or downtown and you want to take a bike, go ahead, and then you feel like taking the metro home, you can do that. That's what I really liked about Bixi. Like, I used to have a bike and then I was taking Bixi, is that you don't have to worry about leaving your bike or locking it up. Like, you just, it's like just perfect commute around the city. Yeah.
Very cool. Thanks for that, Sam. And Melise, what a great idea. What made you want to do that? Like, did somebody suggest that to you, or did you always have that in the back of your mind? I'll play a musical interlude. Oh no, she went on her Bixi, I think. I think she got she got too gung ho. She wanted to go for a bike ride, or maybe it's because my music scared her away.
I think it's her connection. I think it's her connection.
It's her connection. Okay. We'll forgive her. We'll forgive her. Thank you so much, Melise, for sharing that moment of appreciation with us. You guys had some really cool things to say today. My goodness, all I got is exchange. Of course, was really fun. Yeah, you will see me giggle like a little schoolgirl playing frisbee boomerang. I mean, I almost couldn't stop. I don't think I did. I think I threw frisbee all the way home.
Yeah,
I ended up at Sam's balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So maybe I'll say that and then I'll end this segment. But I was standing on Sam's balcony. I wanted to throw it off the balcony for it to come back to me. Sam says, "It's not going to work. It's not going to work."
Not going to do it. Not going to do it. And I was like, "Watch my tomato plants. Do not."
And it fell. And actually, the first time it fell into the neighbor's yard. Like 2 yards over, so it was kind of complicated to go walk there. But then I did it the second time. I was actually afraid the second time. I was like, it's not going to work. I'm going to have to go through the trouble again. But I was like, I can't not do this. I can't not try. And I did it, so that felt very cool. Also, hopefully we found a new location for our meetups here in Montreal. So actually, that's put me in a great mood. And then lastly, we're planning, Sam and I, we're working on a retreat, our first retreat, hopefully coming up next month. So if you ever wanted to go out camping, be in the great outdoors, this is a beautiful location called the Shire, and we're trying to manage to get people to go out there. So that hasn't happened yet, but just the thought and the planning of it is really stimulating my brain, and I like it when my brain is stimulated, and so that's a lot of fun. Anybody here would like to, you think you might, I'm putting you on the spot here, but you know what, I'm not going to put anybody in the spot because I kind of know the answers, so let me not say that. But if you ever are interested in a retreat, we have something coming up, hopefully next month. Tonight we're talking about principles, a smarter way to think, but before we do that, I want to tell you about What a Great Idea, the segment called What a Great Idea is where I point you towards a product, a service, an idea that is deserving of your attention, because whatever we give our attention to becomes a greater part of our experience. I see Sam mouthing it there. She's knowing it by heart. So why not give our attention to great ideas? This week's What a Great Idea, it's actually not a website or anything like that. It's a notion. Okay, it's called the First Principles Approach. First Principles Approach. A First Principles Approach is a physics way of dealing with problems. And we're going to be talking more about that when we talk about the topic of the show. But a first principle approach is one where you start with fundamental truths and then you build up from there. So Elon Musk is how I heard about this. He says that human beings, we tend to reason through analogy. We tend to compare what's going on now with what used to happen, what used to be. And that is actually an inefficient way of moving forward. What he says is that you start with fundamental truths and then you build up from there. For example, if you say, if in the time of horse and buggy, you know, people used to ride horses and carriage, even though cars were around, they used to ride horses and carriage, right? So far, you're with me? People used to ride horses and carriage? Well, then people used to say, well, who needs a car, you know, and why would anybody want a car? There are no gas stations around, you know. It's going to be, nobody's going to want a car. It's going to be so complicated. Well, the truth is, people did want cars, and eventually we were able to go to that position. But if you were always sort of saying, well, people never used cars in the past, so they're not going to use cars in the future, that's kind of a crazy way to think, right? And don't you find yourself or other people saying, well, I can't do it because I never learned how to do it. Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it. What it means is that you need to learn how to do it, and you can grow to learn how to do it. And there's a lot of things that we stop ourselves from doing because we reason by analogy. I'm not as good as this person. Well, no, you don't have to be as good as that person. In order to move forward, you can move forward with different things. And so I thought it was really cool. It's called the First Principles Approach. You can Google it, find it on Wikipedia. There's tons of videos about it. It's a physics approach to problem solving, but I think it applies to a lot of things. Look, we're going to be talking about first principles, and I want to tell you just a quick story to give you an idea of why I'm talking about this, and then we'll see where we go. You guys ready? Excellent. So years ago, when I was still working 9 to 5, I went to a customer service job, and at customer service, you go through a training where you have to learn a lot of information. And this person in our training class said something really interesting. It was actually the trainer himself, and he says, "Look, there's a lot of information that's out there, but I don't want you to memorize the information because the information always changes. What I want you to do instead is to learn where to find the information so that no matter what the information is, you always have access to it. You know where to go." And I remember thinking at that time, this was, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, I thought, wow, that is genius. That applies to everything in life. There are a lot of people try to memorize information, but instead, I like to learn the principle of knowing where to get that information, knowing where the source is so that I don't have to fill my head up with memorization. It's similar to what Einstein said. He says, why memorize 100 digits after pi? You know, pi, not the food, but the number, 3.1415. He says, why memorize 100 digits after pi when you can use a calculator? Right? So his principle is don't memorize anything, just know where to find the information and then free yourself up for other creative thinking. So that's a type of way of looking at the world. It's a type of principle. Instead of learning all the information, you learn where to get the information. Have you been exposed to any principles? Can you think of any principles that you might have heard? Just to give you the definition for a principle is a fundamental belief upon which a belief system can be constructed. So a principle can say, I am in control, for example. I am in control. A principle could say, I'm sorry, the cat is just coming into a room. A principle could say that all life is valuable, things like that. Sam, you have a principle?
You create your own reality.
You create your own reality, right? That is a fundamental principle of positive thinking, of the law of attraction, for example. You create your own reality. So have you ever heard of a principle, maybe something that comes to mind, or what's your opinion about principles in general? Do you think that is a smarter way of going about things than to memorize information? Anybody? I'll get my guitar out, I swear to God. I'm doing it.
Okay, I can say something. No, you play well. It's not because that. It's just like you're trying to fill the space, so I have something in my head, so... Okay, so yeah, where were we?
Yeah, do
Okay.
you have either an example of a principle, or do you think that principles are a smart way to go about life as opposed to memorizing information?
Well, for memorizing information, like I'm not capable of memorizing, and I've learned it a while back. And there is this Chinese proverb saying that. That the best memory is not as good as your crappy little pen and paper pad. That means like if you can write things down, like you have the motive and you take initiative to write things down, it's better than you are like if you are very intelligent, good people with good memory. So.
That's
Yeah.
actually a very good thing to say, right? Who here thinks that they have who here would describe their memory as not excellent? Yeah,
I can't remember things.
Same here.
I find it difficult to remember things. That's why I write everything down in books. I have whole books filled with information, and I write it down because it frees up my mind, right? It's actually a really smart way of doing it.
Sorry, I write things in Word documents so I can search for it. If I write in my notepad, I can't find it.
You know what? That's actually a good idea. And when it's something really important with a lot of detail, I write it on Google Docs. But there's something about physically writing with my hand and a pen or a pencil that helps me to sort of think things through. You know, like there's. Have you ever looked at somebody's handwriting and seen like either fast scribbling or slow, deliberate marks or anything like that? There's like an emotion that goes behind writing that I think is very important. But yeah, absolutely, writing things online is definitely a smart way to go about things. That's a very good example, Beidi. Anybody else have an example of how they use maybe a principle to move forward as opposed to memorizing information?
Yeah, move from inspiration rather than motivation, but that's my own thing.
That's very good. That's very good. You want to explain that, elaborate that just a bit?
When you're in a good place and you feel happy, inspiration comes in, and you don't have to even make an effort. You just want to act from the inspiration. So it's not, there's no effort involved. It pours out of you. But if, as opposed to motivation, motivation will be you're pushing yourself, or you're pulling yourself, or so it's more of an effort. But I remember that Sam said a few times that you need both, and I agree. I think we need both in our lives. But of course, I prefer inspiration.
I think that's really excellent, right? Inspiration is being drawn, it's being pulled from within, whereas motivation is being sort of pushed from without. You know, those are rudimentary descriptions of it. Of course, you can describe it in different ways, but I think that's an excellent principle. Melise, did you have something to say on the topic of principles or of anything related to this?
I think I will, relating to my job, I work with children. I would everyone's ability, because sometimes when I'm facing like a child that is really having really hard behaviors and a lot of negatives coming out from him, it's really important to rely on the fact that everybody can improve. Everybody trust these children's ability to progress and to move through these hard times. You know, so it's not putting people in boxes and you don't progress from that. So it's one thing I think I'm thinking about when we talk about principles.
That's excellent. That's wonderful. Everybody can improve. That is actually an important it's a vital principle to have in education, right? Coneconomy.org, they talk about this. They talk about how if you allow a B student or a D student time to improve and you don't judge them and put them in a box right away, then over time they will all become A students. But if you take the snapshot at the beginning of the year or a snapshot at the middle of the year, you might categorize them as one or the other, an A student or a C student, and then you put them in a box that they have to sort of fight to get out of. So this idea that everybody can improve and to give everybody that space, I think is really, really important. I love that. So far, you guys have been saying really absolutely smart things here. I think principles are just a smarter way to go about things. I just think it's a more efficient way to think. Sam, when you are looking at the plants that you're growing and things like that, how do you face it? Do you like memorize all of the information that you get, or do you sort of tap into sort of basic things about the plant? You know, like basic shapes, or how do you approach all the information that you get in the greenhouse workshop that you do?
Hold on. Meeting somebody.
Yeah.
I don't think it's working.
I'll do it.
Okay. Well, I go with more feeling and interest instead of, so I definitely do not memorize, and I go to all the workshops and I'm like one of the people who are not taking notes and stuff like that, because I know I probably won't look at them and I know that the information is online. So I'm going basically with what am I interested in, what's being said that I really am interested in, and I'll pay a lot more attention to that, and then I'll research more at home and I'll look things up, and I go with what I feel, what feels nice to me, what I'm enjoying learning, and then as you're learning, right, you're incorporating it, or you're sort of looking at your whole life experience, and I mean, even myself, like being in the country a lot when I was younger, I sort of be like, oh, okay, I get that now. Like, it just sort of makes a little more sense, and so it intertwines with everything that I already know about gardening or plants, and yeah, I just sort of relate it to other things as I'm listening.
I like that. I like that. So one of the principles of the law of attraction is that it's a relational philosophy, that nothing exists independent from anything else, that everything exists as a relationship. And I do believe that smart people, that geniuses, that bright people, they are trying to make connections. They're trying to relate their experience to past experiences. They're trying to relate their experience to the wealth of knowledge that they've already picked up. And when you connect things in that way, then they tie into you in a way that's far more meaningful than just learning a series of information that can easily be looked up.
One other thing is like talking about it, right? So now that like I'm really passionate about it, I'm always talking about it. And Beidi actually messaged me about tomatoes recently. She messaged me about the butt rot, Peter, about the blossom end rot on tomatoes. And yeah, one of the ways you can say it, Beidi, is butt rot. It's pretty gross. But yeah, so she messaged me, and I was like, I know that answer. And so being able to like answer her without looking it up, and like it was just like so exciting. And so the fact that I even wrote it down to her was like, okay, now I know it even more myself. You know, like I doubt I'm gonna forget that information unless it's like 20 years from now and I'm not doing anything with gardening. But yeah, so that sort of thing too, talking about it.
Yeah, experience using what you learn as quickly as possible, I think is really, really cool. When I learn a word of the day or something like that, I try to incorporate that word into a conversation, even if I sound weird doing it.
You usually do.
Yeah, I usually sound weird doing it. I think it's really important. Look, the show, we've got to come to an end, but I want to give you a principle here that I want you to chew on. It's actually a very useful one to have in your mind. So it goes like this. I get what I feel I deserve. Okay? Not that I get what I deserve, but I get what I feel I deserve. And I want you to chew on that for a bit. I want you to think about all the things that you feel you deserve, and then think about how inspired you are to perform the actions that bring them about. And then think about the things you don't feel like you deserve, and then recognize how much action you take to bring that about, right? And so it's not that I feel it's not just that I deserve something, but what I feel I deserve. And then so that tells you want to work on how you're feeling, right? As opposed to thinking about all the details about what you deserve, just think about how you're feeling about yourself. Do you feel self-worth? Do you feel yourself valuable? And then ask yourself, if I felt twice as worthy, if I felt twice as deserving, how would that change my behavior? How would that change my life? And I think you're going to start realizing how important a principle can be towards affecting you and affecting change in your life. Look, there's so much more that we're going to be talking about here. We're actually going to be scheduling a meetup about principles very soon, hopefully next week. So keep your eye out for that. Just before I let you go, actually, I don't think we have time for the calendar today, do we, Sam?
Quickly.
Quickly. Okay, so Sam, do you have something coming up?
Well, no, I can say yours quickly if you want.
Okay, please.
So coming up soon, actually, go ahead, Val. Wait, is that the next one? Hold on.
No, you have one tomorrow.
Tomorrow is mine.
Yeah, Peter's.
Okay, go ahead, Peter.
Okay, so tomorrow we have a workshop. It's called The Shepherd, the 6 Guiding Essentials. We're going to teach you how to tackle any problem, how to move forward with any sort of issue. That's going to be 6:30 tomorrow. We have a meetup on Friday. That's Val.
Yes, it's basic principles, actually, kind of the law of attraction. It's at 6:30 at Resto Vego.
Excellent. That's going to be on the 29th. This Saturday, we're actually going to be testing out our law of attraction cards. So we created these law of attraction cards. We have a prototype that we're going to practice before we go and print them out. So if you want to participate, help us out with that. That's going to be this Saturday.
There's only a couple of spots left for that.
Absolutely. So I think that's it for us. Oh, Melise,
yeah.
Have something? You'll have to unmute yourself, Melise.
She's saying no, I think.
Oh, okay, sorry. She's just waving, yeah.
So she's excited. Yeah, I think she's coming. I think she's coming to like a lot of the meetups. She told me. It's cool.
Okay,
okay, so self-discovery.
You gotta hurry.
Self-Discovery Montreal. Saturday, I'm doing an appreciation walk, 12 to 2. So if you want to do that and then come to the cards, you can do that. You just have to make sure to RSVP for Peter's because that one's limited. Appreciation walk, I've posted in Self-Discovery. I will be posting it in Law of Attraction as well. And then on Thursday, August 4th, I have Discover Your Passion, a new group life coaching session that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be in the park in Verdun, so it's going to be wonderful. That's it for now.
Excellent. Look, I'll give you all the websites in just 1 second, but I want to let our friends go. Before I let you go, I have to ask you a quick question, so everybody take yourself off mute. The question I have to ask you is, what's for dinner? What did you eat in the last 7 days, or what are you about to eat this evening, if you haven't eaten yet, that you enjoyed? It doesn't have to be special. It just has to be something that you enjoyed.
I'll start and I'll be quick. I
Cool.
had sweet potatoes that a friend made for me, and it was made with coconut milk. This is how I know that she's been doing it, and it was just delicious. I could have, anyway, it's like chocolate to me. Love it.
That's awesome. Thanks, Val. Beidi?
What I really enjoyed was the coffee you guys provided at the exchange meetup.
Sweet. Cool. Well, Simon,
Yeah,
you
the
got to thank
coffee.
Simon for that.
Good. It was strong, right? It was good, right? Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, it's good, it's strong, and I had too much. And interestingly, that night I couldn't sleep. So what I ended up doing was I read The Power of Emotions, all the blogs.
Woo! Val's blog.
Nice. PowerMotion.ca. Excellent. Luke, how about you? What'd you eat?
I didn't eat anything tonight yet, so only thing I can say is my neighbor made some scrambled eggs, kind of at the Asian style and anything, and she gave me that. So I ate some yesterday, but I'm gonna eat some tonight.
Excellent. You got a good neighbor. I think we all need a nice Haitian neighbor to make us some food. That's really awesome. How about you, Maylise?
I have to say mine and then go.
Okay, Sam, go ahead.
I have a session in 5 minutes. Okay, so I made a Thai vegetable soup with like tons of vegetables, all sorts of stuff, all from scratch. It was delicious, and I'm in love with it. So
Yeah,
I gotta let you go though. Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye, Sam.
Oh,
Bye,
wait,
Sam.
just 1 quick second, Maylise. Do you have anything? Do you eat anything this week that you liked? If you're still there. Well, okay, she's on mute, but we're gonna have to let you guys go. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We got through another episode of The Appreciationist. Take care, you guys.
Bye.
too.
Thanks. Have a great
Okay,
week.
bye-bye. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was a lot of fun. You can check out all of our information at theappreciationist.com. So that's our past episodes. You can go to the lawofattraction.ca for all your law of attraction needs. Check out Samantha Barley's website at samanthabarley.com. Valerie Soule at thepowerofomotion.ca. Go to meetup.com/TLOA-MTL. That's TLOA as in the law of attraction, MTL as in Montreal, to find out all our events, everything coming up on our calendar. Go check that out. If you want to check out the video of me throwing a frisbee boomerang, go to facebook.com/theappreciationist. And of course, tune in next week for another exciting episode of The Appreciationist. Take care, guys.
You know, Peter, I used to do the same thing when I was young with a frisbee, to throw it in the air like that and to have it come back.
Really?
Oh yeah, I did the same thing when I was much younger in my teens.
You know what? I didn't even know it was possible. I guess I never Googled it and I never looked it up, but it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Take care, sir.
Okay, bye-bye.